Welcome to day 4 of our transformational leadership series, which is based on the amazing leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, who turned Singapore into a first world country. This is in continuation of the 15-day critical assessment of his book From Third World to First. Day 4 of our review examines a corruption-free governance as enshrined in Singapore by Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew's leadership in Singapore is widely regarded as a model of corruption-free governance, which played a crucial role in transforming the country from a poor third world nation into a prosperous first world economy. His approach to governance emphasized strict integrity, transparency and accountability in both public and private sector, creating the conditions necessary for economic growth and national stability. Here are some details of corruption-free governance as exemplified by Lee Kuan Yew. Number 1, zero tolerance for corruption. Lee Kuan Yew believed that corruption was a fundamental obstacle to national progress. He established a zero tolerance policy towards corruption from the outset of his leadership. The government set up institutions like the Corruption Practices Investigation Bureau (CPIB), which was given the authority to investigate and prosecute corruption cases. No one was above the law, and high-ranking officials, including ministers, could be investigated and charged if found guilty of corruption practices. Number 2, meritocracy and competence in public service. A key part of Lee's governance strategy was promoting meritocracy, as we said in our day 3, where individuals are rewarded based on their talents, abilities, and contributions rather than through favoritism or nepotism. Civil service in Singapore became highly professionalized with strict hiring standards and competitive salaries to attract the best talents. By ensuring that public servants were well compensated, the government reduced the incentive for corruption. Number 3, transparency and accountability. Lee Kuan Yew emphasized transparency in government transactions and decision-making processes. This was achieved through stringent reporting requirements, auditing processes, and the clear separation of powers within government institutions. Public officials were held accountable for their actions, and misconduct was met with severe penalties. Regular audits and public reports helped maintain trust in the government and its activities. Number 4, strong legal framework and independent judiciary. To enforce corruption-free governance, Singapore developed a robust legal framework where laws against corruption were strictly enforced. The judiciary remained independent, allowing for the fair prosecution of corruption cases without political interference. This further solidified public trust and deterred corrupt practices. Number 5, leadership by example. Lee Kuan Yew himself embodied the ideas of integrity and discipline in governance. He was known for his personal austerity and high ethical standards. By setting an example at the top, he created a culture within the government that emphasized clean governance. This also sent a clear message to citizens that corruption would not be tolerated in any form. Here in Nigeria, a P2B has done it and willing to do it if given the opportunity, and which requires all of us to fight for. Number 6, promoting economic development. Corruption-free governance laid the foundation for Singapore's rapid economic growth. Foreign investors were drawn to Singapore because they trusted the country's stable and transparent business environment. Lee Kuan Yew and his team were able to attract significant investments in key sectors like manufacturing, finance, and trade, boosting Singapore's GDP and improving living standards. The lack of corruption meant that resources were channeled into productive sectors of the economy rather than being siphoned off by corrupt officials. Number 7, public trust and national pride. By rooting out corruption, Lee Kuan Yew's government earned the trust and support of Singaporeans. Citizens had confidence in their leaders and institutions, which fostered a sense of national pride and unity. People believed in the government's ability to manage resources efficiently and fairly, and this social cohesion contributed to the nation's success. Number 8, long-term vision. Lee Kuan Yew's anti-corruption efforts were part of a broader long-term vision for Singapore's development. He believed that a corruption-free society was essential for sustained progress and aimed to institutionalize these values so that they would endure beyond his time in office. Today, Singapore consistently ranks as one of the least corrupt countries in the world, a legacy of Lee's leadership. Lee Kuan Yew's corruption-free governance was not just about eradicating bribery and graft. It was about building a foundation of trust, meritocracy, and transparency that allows Singapore to grow from a struggling post-colonial state into a global financial hub and a model for other nations. Here in Nigeria, we have just one man whose clear vision has postulated how we can take this step, strategy by strategy, to attain what Singapore has attained. His name remains Peter Obi. Whatever thing you do, just be rest assured that we have a fight in our hands, and we have to rise to the occasion and fight assiduously hard to see that this man becomes the next leader of this country. Nothing can stop us. Nothing is impossible. We can fix Nigeria. My name is Chikeze Obona Oyenonozochi, and this is the COO. Here we talk solution. See you next time.